Hello, hello. I'm here with another Q and A. I'm here with the artist Keyon St. Firmin at his senior show, The Pursuit of Love.
Yes, yes. A journey back to South. Yes.
All right. So let me start with my first question. Then, your relationship with your materials, you're very, it's very personal. It feels very intimate, like multifaceted. Your discipline involves both, painting, it involves sculpture, it even had a little bit of video attached to it. So I want to understand sort of the creation and presentation process behind it, like why the involvement of the video, even the smaller details like attached to some of your sculptures, earrings, even hair follicles, like even the build up to it.
So I like to always put myself into my work deeply. When I'm like making pieces, I never want to just like half-ass it. I want to like fully put all of me, whether it's like my favorite color, my comfort food, my actual literal body parts of me for like live castings. You mentioned like hair follicles. That I did not do on purpose. Uh, Fair warning: if you are going to do a live cast, with like silicone, put like Vaseline or something slippery on before, I had to cut and rip hair off of me and hated it. But it turned out really great. And it's forever uh not stained, but it's forever marked that this is actually the artist's hair. Like true dedication.
It's like it's similar to like the phrase of like putting your blood, sweat, and tears, you're putting
Yes.
your literal like essence into it.
And for that same the bus, I had like nicked my finger, and at the time I was too focused and it was a little dim in the room, so I didn't notice that there was like red on the porcelain white bus until after I got done painting it, and I was like, I'm gonna get that in there, just because no one can ever say that I did not put my all into it. I literally put blood, sweat, and tears into it. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That was a very informative answer. So on to my next question. Um, you know, from your show, this is some of the questions and answers that you give. I was able to latch on to you mentioning that part of your process when you're within the studio, you prefer to be like exclusive. You prefer it to be like your own space. You don't really want people around it, correct?
yeah,
So it the contrast is, when it comes to your exhibit, you're very like it's a very open, it's a very vulnerable, it's a very intimate space. There's rose petals, so there's the involvement of flowers, like the ending sort of installment that you did when you took everyone's flowers and added to the piece. And like even smaller things like the incense, the rose petals, as I mentioned, happen or wilted under some pieces. So I want to understand how you are comfortable or how did you approach that level of vulnerability, in contrast to like their studio practice. Like where in the transition were you so open?
I would say for me, like when it comes to studio time, like if I'm in class, I kind of am a hermit, not because I don't like people, but just because I want to like get in the mode and get in the vibe of what I'm doing. Especially if it's at 8 a.m. Do not talk to me. Do not speak to, like my brain is not even functioning. Like I have to take a moment for my own sanity just to like understand what I'm doing, whether it's like painting, sculpting, welding. Um, and it's kind of my own therapy. So like when I'm interrupted or when a person's like, "Oh hey, what are you doing?" It kind of throws me off track. Like if I'm towards the ending stages of a piece, like feel free to have a conversation with me. But if it's that beginning, foundational work, I cannot be distracted because once I get off task or once I start talking, like I just can't stop, and it like loses. It makes me lose the motivation to continue on. Like I have to take a break to grab something to eat, to recharge, or do something like that. But when I'm full fledged, uh, ready to represent and present my work, uh, I have no problem like being open and honest about it because like it's what I make.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Then I guess sort of a follow-up question or a part two to it. Then, with that, again, I want to talk about that level of vulnerability that we don't necessarily see in a lot of presentations. The involvement of rose petals, so the sort of autobiographical essence of like capturing moments of your life. What was like? How did you come or feel comfortable with like exposing yourself like that?
Well, I always knew that for my senior exhibition, I needed it to be about me because that's the only way that I will fully understand the subject enough to tell its story. Um, I didn't want to stray from a self narrative because I fear like the themes, the motifs wouldn't necessarily correlate or make sense. But if I tied it to myself or my own personal beliefs and my own practices or my own rituals or whatever, like I everything I incorporated would be authentically what it's supposed to be and uh not an imitation of something else. Like with my rose petals, the motif of like flowers is me myself being a blooming flower. There's this Minnie Riperton song that I listened to as a child, when she says that there's like a seed in every man, and they like bloom into a flower. And I've always loved that song because it reminds me of spring. It reminds me of like the flowers are flowering. And rose petals to me can not only be romantic but also represent like memories, feelings, emotions. And if you notice, like the live ones are next and around two pieces where I am feeling myself to the greatest extent. And then the wintering or completely dried and dead ones are where I'm at my lowest. Like I make those connections, and I also try to make those connections with like color association. Because growing up, I really loved what was it? What was it? It was in language arts. Like we learned about the importance of color in literature and how like black typically always represents death
You
or
like color
humility.
theory?
Yes, 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 sort of kind of.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I forgot the actual literary uh term, but you're on the right track. And for me, like blue, like it's never a sad color. It's always like a calming, chill, like I'm in my state of mind. Blue has always been one of my favorite colors. So
Okay, I get it. All right then. Let me move on to my final question then. So, um, simply put, what's your direction after this? A lot of students that come to their senior show, they always just ask, or it's always popping into their head, like, what's next? This is sort of the culmination of like your 4 years, 5 years in college. So, what are you looking forward to?
um rest, to be completely honest. This show has been not only over my head for so long, but like I've been trapped in my own mind of how to perfect the show, how to represent this or how to show off that. Not only with rest, but the excitement of a new beginning. Because although this is my senior show, I actually graduate in May. So I have a lot of time just to live, laugh, and love. Like I can't wait to finally be able to actually apply to different exhibitions and not have to worry about, oh, I gotta finish this piece or I gotta work on this or I gotta, even though I love the process, sometimes when I'm working on a body of work, or just one piece in itself. I like to throw myself at it and devote my time and effort into what I can into that piece. Like this one here. I sort of kind of just placed around like basic colors and kept the figures kind of like loose, and this new direction that I'm kind of going in, I really want it to feel as though uh, you're watching them in the meadow and they're just calmly reading, being themselves at peace. And I really want to use like light colors and spring. Even though this was taken in the summer, this is more spring to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, okay. Well then, again, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your show will be going up until
Friday the 7th, I believe. Strike me down if I'm wrong. Yeah.
well. Be sure to check it out, and that is today's Q&A.